Oh my goodness. You guys are here already. Uh, Vic Effendi from Turkey. Hello, good morning. Good afternoon to you. It's probably what, 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock there. Harshil, that's a first time. That's a first name. That's a name I've not seen. Is the first time here, Harshil? Hello, Lati. Noura. Noura Ahmed. Again, that is also first time maybe. Krila, first time. Kali K from California. Thank you very much for letting me know where you're tuning in from. As you all know, our protocol is where you're tuning in from, how old you are, and if you're a man or a woman, as sometimes the screen pictures or the name I'm not familiar with, so that would help me to address your questions and yourselves more in tune with what culture or what age or what gender you are. Marielos, hello. Marielos says, this is so weird, just the camera and we are staring at teddy bears or something and hearing weird noises in the back. Weird noises? What noise? I'm probably preparing my tea. You know, I think it's a retaliation to yesterday. I left you guys with the chair. Yesterday I was here and I had to wait for 19 minutes before Tuta showed up. So now I'm retaliating. No, I just had a few Skype consultations last night with Australia and Hong Kong, and I had to stay up till about 4 o'clock. So I actually got up a little bit later than I should have. So that's why. Vivi says, hello Mehran, 30, male, California. Thank you very much, Vivi, for your kind observation or observing the protocol. Vivi says, how to deal with the moments of extreme loneliness during the moving on process. Good question. So why don't we just, let me go through the hellos and do the greeting part, and we'll get back to you as the first question. Jesse says, Jesse Schmitz says, yay Mehran. Oh yes, that's right. Hello Jesse. And Vivi, as second part of his question, says, ex-wife lied and cheated and left me for that low moral man. All right, we'll discuss that. Emmanuel says, hello dear. And Vivi also asks, how am I? After his questions. I'm good, thank you very much. Lottie says, 39, female, UK. Thanks a million for letting me know where you're tuning in from, how old you are, and if you're a man or a woman. She says, I was wondering how people stay calm when an emotionally strong subject come up. So say you want to discuss a substantial subject, but it's hard to remain calm. What to do? Okay. Alexandra says, hi Mehran. Hello Alexandra. I'm really depressed. All right. I entered the exam period and I am overwhelmed. I panicked and I can't concentrate on studying. I can't sleep at night because of stress. Okay, we'll address that as well. Lottie says, I can't talk about knitting patterns. Lottie, you lost me. Alexander says, I'm very afraid I will fail all of them. I can't put myself together. What can I do? I also have an exam tomorrow. I couldn't prepare for it. Aha. So in other words, you're asking me to do my magic to instill certain kind of wisdom so you can pass the test without studying. Lottie, what do you think? I mean, Alexandra, what do you think I am? We'll talk about that too. Harshil says, yes, it's my first time on a live chat, but I do watch your videos from India. 21 India. Okay, thank you. Kalani, aloha. He says, hey, my brother, I've been missing your live talks because damn, it's 7 a.m. for me. And I get ready to work early, but what's up, brother? Always watch your videos. Delighted that you're enjoying the videos, Kalani. Mahalo, and hope that you will have a wonderful day in the beautiful paradise. Take good care of yourself, and I'm glad that you could spare a few moments to say hello to us. Lottie says, so I worry I'm too sensitive. I find it difficult to even watch news. Yes. All right. Now, before we go further, please, everyone, as you know, we are a channel discussing the things to do with thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, and ego. And we use that knowledge and root causes to find root causes for how you feel, act, and react in your daily life, including your emotional and relationship challenges and breakups and so on. We have over 1,000 videos on this channel. Almost anything you think of after your breakup, if you just type in how you feel on the search engine of my channel, you're bound to get some videos that discusses that emotion or that thought. So, we are going to go one by one, and hopefully you know by now that we are still invisible on YouTube, as much as we have reached over 1.4 million people around the world, and we have comments extraordinary and complimenting the content of the channel. We need your input, we need your comments, we need engagement with the videos and the like. Every video that you see, please press the like, so it will help the algorithm and we may be getting more visibility. Also, please share the videos on your social medias, and right now click on the like if you will, and we will get on with our questions. So, first question is from Vivi. Vivi says, hello Mehran, 30 Mile, California. How do you deal with moments of extreme loneliness during the moving on process? Loneliness, despite of how you feel or how people usually think, it's really happens when you're unaware of where you are, unaware of your connection, unaware of the quality of the environment that you're living in. If you notice and realize that every one of us and everything that exists is made out of energy, and if you notice that this energy goes from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe, it flows through the universe in all directions, and its cause and substance, that everything else in it has been created. This energy flows through everything and touches everything from one end of the universe to the other end of the universe in all directions, which means we are all connected in the purest sense, without anything to do with who you are, what you do, and so on. So when you think you're lonely, it's like a fish saying, I don't feel the water. I'm not aware that I am in the water. Therefore, there's nothing here that connects me with everything else that is in this ocean. While the water itself is the reason that fish, sharks, everything else in that ocean is alive and is existing. And that the same thing that causes them to be alive, it also connects them. None of them are lonely. Cannot be lonely. They're all connected. They're only when they do not realize and don't help themselves to become aware that they are connected. If you focus on the fact that you are connected through what makes us all be alive, the energy in the universe, with everything else, trees, flowers, fruits, animals, other human beings, which is, that's the trouble. You will realize that you're never alone, can never be lonely. So much wisdom and connection and energy is running through you as part of what this whole universe is all about, and as part of the fragment of what this universe is put together by, and yet you're unaware of the water that you're swimming in, of the energy, of the key that you're living in, and getting nourishments, and getting life, and being able to do your things. Your heart beats all the time. Your cells grow and advance, and your experiences advance. What you see, everything has to do with the fact that the energy that has made us all alive and connects us is flowing through you as well. And that energy coming from everywhere and going to everywhere. And when it comes through you and passes through you, you charge it in your way and you affect the rest of the flow of the energy as well. You can never be alone. If you really focus on that, you will see that the fragment of this life, your ex-wife, cheating or not cheating, whoever, friend, who seems like this is you or doesn't want to continue a relationship or friendship with you, it's inconsequential. There's so much other energies that are connecting you to the whole universe and everything that lives, and you're only focusing on that one fragment, one particle, one small line of energy from someone who doesn't want to be with you, and suddenly you call yourself lonely. What about the everything else that you're part of? It's like being in a orchard and standing in front of a pile of apples that just picked from the tree, and one apple is taken away or falls off and goes into a ditch, and you say, I don't have any other apple. What am I going to do? If you really think it that way, you will see you actually don't need what you don't have in this case. You actually don't need who doesn't want you or who's not loyal to you. You don't need him. So it's not that you're alone, it's that you're only focusing on this. There's so many other paintings in the museum, Louvre in Paris. But if you only look at one of them, then you may think there's only one and there's nothing else in this museum. But all you have to do is just turn around. You will say, oh my goodness, I'm surrounded with all kinds of other opportunities and possibilities. So please get a hold of yourself and don't talk this way. What are you talking about? You're condensing the whole experience of life and the whole connection that you have with this life only to one person? Whether she likes you or doesn't, loyal to you or not, a relationship works or not, that's your whole life. A relationship is not the entirety of the life. It's only a fragment of life. You treat it as if it's a whole life. Then when it doesn't work, you think you've lost a whole life. But your mentality and thought process and the way you look at it should be only according to what it's worth. It's only a fragment of your life, which is simply, if it's not working, you have always other opportunities and possibilities to create another relationship. So get a hold of yourself, Vivi, and see it as it is. Vast universe, lots of opportunities, possibilities. Understand why you feel that way. What is the connection between your ego, a desire, a fear, thoughts, and consciousness with how you feel. Then you understand that it is not a mystery and is not a devastation of any kind. It is just the way you're thinking about it. Change your thoughts, change your whole persona and hopefulness and path that you will be taking in life to arrive to the destination that you have in mind, which one part of that destination is your mood. And you can achieve that through changing your thoughts, and you're changing your mood and the way you see the whole experience of life. Lottie. Lottie says, 39, female, UK. I was wondering, she says, how people stay calm when an emotionally strong subject comes up to say you want to discuss a substantial subject, but it's hard to remain calm. Well, why is it that you can't remain calm? You focus on that. It's because of the conditioning that you've received all through your childhood and being raised, that you should be better than somebody else. You should be more. And you've been always compared to other people. Your parents compared you possibly to siblings or to auntie's son or daughter, or uncle's daughter or son. Your teachers compared you with the other student who got a better grade or runs faster or does this or that. And you've always been praised for something that you do. Oh, such a good girl. Oh, very good. Oh, you look like so-and-so. Always encouraging you to not be focused on who you are, but yet focus on how and who you should be like and where you should be. You should be more than what you are. It's like it's never enough, whatever you are. So that has kind of moved along, immigrated with you in your thoughts as part of your behavior and conditioning to expect to constantly, through conversation, debate, or actions or interactions, prove that you are more than what you are. To do that, you expect to win a conversation or debate or discussion. And when you come into that discussion with that attitude that I have to win, you will be anxious and nervous. What if I don't? Because this has a lot to do with who I am, what my worth and value is. Therefore, you are there like trying to pounce on something, win something, hunting for something, needing something. But when you go do away with all of that and say, I am who I am here for discussion, exchange of opinions, it doesn't matter if the other person agrees with me or not. I simply would like to see what they say, and I state my case, my opinion, and I don't need to win. I don't need. Detach yourself. Detach yourself from an outcome, then you will be doing your best, you'll be the calmest, and you will be entering a discussion in a positive note, because you are not in need of a certain result for you to be satisfied. You're just there for the conversation of it, the discussion of it. So detach yourself from an outcome, from the outcome of some things that you're involved in, then you'll be relaxed. You're not worried about the outcome, you're worried about the process, the actions, the efforts. That's all. And then simply see how it goes. And it doesn't matter if they agree or don't, and it's not about losing or winning. And don't think of it that way. You'll have an easier time in that conversation. Alexandra says, hi Mehran, I am really depressed. I entered the exam period and I am overwhelmed. You're overwhelmed because you're thinking about all of them at the same time. Think about one exam, just one. Don't think about how many exams I have, how many books I have to read. Whether you have prepared all through the year or not, that's beside the point. It's not the time to think about that right now. All you have to think is that I don't care how many exams I have, how many books I have to prepare. Right now, at this moment, it is only this book that I have to focus. It's like you sit on a table and they have a smorgasbord, or they've got lots of different dishes on the table, and you shouldn't be thinking about, oh, how am I going to eat all that? You're not supposed to think about that. You're supposed to think about the one thing that you want to eat first. If you have a plate full of different kind of foods, you won't be thinking, wow, so much. You will be taking them one by one. And when you're taking this one, you'll be thinking about this one. Focus about this one. How it tastes, this one. How you eat it, this one. What kind of a big bite or small bite you take. How does it smell? Only focus on this, because that's the only thing that matters. It's the closest to your mouth. The test you're going to have tomorrow is the only test that matters. So you really, if you focus, you only have one exam at a time. So if you think it's the exam seasons, overwhelms you. But if you think about, I have an exam, because that's the only one you're going to be having to deal with tomorrow or whenever it is. So you focus on that very exam that you're going to be preparing, the closest one to your mouth, the closest one to its time to take it, one at a time. And when you are doing the exam, whether you read it or not, you prepared for it or not, doesn't matter. When you sit on the chair to start the exam, forget everything that you could have done more, you should have done. I should have read this chapter. I should have spent more time. I shouldn't have gone to disco. I shouldn't have gone to that sporting activity. I shouldn't, none of that. Just say, I'm here. I've done what I've done. And I'm here relaxed, focused, and I'm going to do my best. That's all. With that attitude, you will be focused. You will do your best, regardless of what the outcome would be. Detach yourself from the outcome. Focus on how to deal with what it is, the questions that are asked. One at a time. One at a time. You can handle one at a time. You can handle that. To go from there. Now, Lottie says, so I worry I'm too sensitive, find it difficult to watch news. Yes. At times I was the same. But if you focus, you can only do so much and do your best. And when you are able to make a difference, make the difference, whether it's by voting or by just the simple positive actions that you can affect the community and the society you live in a positive way. You are not responsible for the atrocities that is happening around the world. The countries who are destroying and bullying or dominating other nations, unfairness that is happening in the world. You do as much as you can. The feeling that you have is admirable. Extend your energy for good of the people around the world. But you do not have the power to comply with the responsibility that you feel. Everyone could feel responsible for the terrible life that many other people around the world have due to atrocities that are being done to them by armies or countries who are exploiting that nation and those peoples. But you have to realize that you do not have the power equal to your feeling of responsibility. When you don't have it, then you shouldn't worry about it more than being aware of it and taking actions such as voting to the right candidate that you feel is going to serve the people better. So focus on the fact that we are made to be sensitive, to help each other, and that's a good feeling that you have. But because you're a good person and you're feeling sensitive, then you should also focus that you are not having the authority or the power to make the kind of changes that you want to make with the flick of your fingertips. So focus on what you can do, which is vote to the candidates that want to make differences in the lives of the communities that you live in, or you know, in the world, if you have a chance to vote, and vote alertly, educate yourself who you want to vote, who will do better for people as a whole in this world. And that would be the limits of your ability to make changes. So you don't have to blame yourself, and you have to focus on the fact that your sensitivity does not mean you're responsible for the atrocities, or you have to do something which you are incapable. What can you do? You can just vote and make a difference in that way, which is very important. The votes are very important. So let's go to Emmanuel. Emmanuel says, at least once or twice a month, I suffer from moods. I think you suffer. I suffer, yeah? I suffer from mood swings. Is it a medical thing, or could it be fixed with some of your teachings? Well, you know I'm not a doctor, so I don't like to open my mouth and talk about things that I'm not qualified. But what I can tell you is that to put your mind at ease, you can ask this question from your doctor. Maybe he would or she would like to do a blood test and finds out if there's any chemical imbalance or shortening or of any kind in your blood. When they see that it is all good, which I think is all good, mood swings are just simply, everybody goes through mood swings. It doesn't have to be a problem, a psychological problem or medical problem. But if you're concerned about it, talk to your doctor and tell him or her that. Maybe they want to do a blood test, and then you get the result and you'll see that you're perfectly fine. And then you will focus on the teachings that I have about understanding your psyche. Why is it that you feel in slow mood? And you will figure out that, oh, because my conditioning makes me think about that certain subject in a certain way, which is confining, and it confines my thoughts from looking at it in an open way, and I see it in the confines of a certain tradition, religious or cultural boundaries, which doesn't allow me see it the way that I could see it in a different way. And that is why my thoughts, coming from my consciousness, coming from the conditionings I've received, are limited for me to actually see it the way it would make me feel good. And then I fall into a bad mood. And what is the role of my fear? Has my ego created this thought in me that I approach it in this way? Is it because my desire is not fulfilled? Therefore, my ego is not fluffed. Therefore, I am feeling the lack of that achievement of having my desires fulfilled. And that culturally, or the way my consciousness is conditioned, makes me feel in a certain way, which brings my mood, oscillates it, changes it this way or that way. So those things can be super helpful in our moods. And once you know that you're perfectly healthy, having consulted with your doctors, if anything concerns you, then you can simply understand that focusing on your own inner psyche, understanding how it ticks, is exactly what helps you not to feel low, or if you did feel low, understand why, and helps you to get out of that much sooner. Because feeling low and depressed is part of life as well. It's not always a sickness or a deficiency. We go through ups and downs like the waves of the ocean, up and down. It's the kind of movement that everything, the rhythm that everything in this life is affected, and we too. And that mood is like the ups and downs of the ocean or anything else. You know, it's like saying sometimes wind blows and a storm comes. Does that mean the nature is sick? No, it's not necessarily. Maybe there's a problem. That's why we go to a doctor and check. And when we see it's good, then we understand that this is just part of how we function. And then you understand and put to practice the things that you're learning here, and the books that I have put out and other information available for you. And then you'll be able to manage these and help yourself out of that puddle that we sometimes fall into and think, oh, that's where we should be parking. No, get out and move out. And don't forget the value of exercise. Exercise to your level. It creates dopamine. Gather around with friends, good friends, positive friends, creates oxytocin, serotonin, and all these, from these activities of sports and good positive actions, secretes all these good stuff that makes you naturally, your brain exudes that and helps you to feel good about yourself. Exercise has a lot to do with it. Zahin says, hey Mehran, just have come here to say hello and Eid Mubarak. Eid Mubarak as well, Zahin Jan. Thank you very much. And wish you the same, dear. Anand Kubaru says, hello Mehran. Hello Anand. I'm doing well, he says. Glad to hear that. Almost recovered. Wonderful. Yesterday I got to know from mutual friend, my ex, that she is getting engaged, and that's not an arranged marriage. We broke up just 4 months ago. So either this is a rumor or she must be dating her before we broke up, because 4 months is too short to decide to get engaged. Shall I confirm this matter with my ex? No. What do you care? Just move on. Don't give a shit. What? Whatever she says, who cares? You're thinking about your ego. She cheated on me. She was not truthful. Whatever she was, all it matters is that you're not together, and that's it. That's the end of it. That's the solution. Whatever happened, happened. Who cares? And then continues, says, I know it shouldn't matter. Okay, that's good to me, but it will help give right answer to myself. What answer? What answer for what? Why do you want answer? Your answer is in the path you're taking, what you're building in your life. Go build a relationship for yourself. Go build your life. Don't worry about who is not accompanying you on this journey. Worry about what and who is accompanying you, not the ones who are not accompanying you. Leave them behind. They had a choice, leave them behind. Their choice doesn't worth a shit. Any choice that is not in your favor in such matters doesn't worth an iota to focus on. Don't waste your time. These are all illusory. Wasting your energy. They do not matter. These are all thoughts, and you're looking for something she would say to believe or not to believe, to change your thought or not change, affect your mood or not. It's just nonsense. Why would you care about her life? She has her own decisions to make and her own responsibility for her own life. Let it be. Your ego does not need her, should not need her. Your desire should be focused on building your life and other girls that are out there for you. Focus on the fact that you tried this relationship and obviously it's gone where it's gone, which is not a place that is suitable or acceptable to you, which means it was not a qualified woman to be in a relationship with you because it ended up this way. Now that you can see it, then you shouldn't give a shit. Just move on. As of now, I told myself I didn't give time to her and hence she left. But if this news is true, reason is totally different. Whatever the reason, you gave her time, you didn't give her time, she waited, she didn't wait, she thought she's all that, she thought you have to dance for her. Who gives a shit? Or she was seeing somebody else. Who gives a shit? Focus on your life. Don't get caught up with these things. That's a story. There are many books with many stories. Nothing happens if you don't read this book or that book. Just read the book that you're writing. And this is not what you're writing. It's her book. Let her write on her own. And other people can read it. You move on. Just move on. Don't talk about it anymore. Waste your time. PK says, but there is what people can't grasp. What people call grass is greener syndrome when just early stage of dating, sadly. PK, are you just starting from the middle or have you started this question before? I don't see. So, okay, I don't understand that. KK says, oh, you're talking, Kishitjik, 22, Pakistan. Male or female? I want to ask, what is cheating? My girlfriend of 1.5 years got in touch with some guy and started investing more and more time in him. After a month, when I got to know, I asked her to stop. Instead, she broke up with me and started to date him. What should I do? It's been 3 weeks. Nothing. Move on. Respect her decision. She is a human being, has her own decisions to make. She thinks she knows what she's good or bad for her, what she likes or doesn't, what she wants to do or doesn't want to do. And you are responsible for your own life. You're not connected to her. You don't have to do anything. She left to go to have a relationship with another guy. Then that means she's not qualified to be in a relationship with you. You want a girl who wants to spend time with you and get to know you, and you guys get to know each other. So, move on. Don't worry about it. Means nothing, because she is not the one who hands out your values and worth. It is you who hand out your worth and value by what you do in life, how you deal with challenges in life, how you deal with this situation, what you accomplish in life. That's what builds your life and your character. Not the choice of some woman chooses you or chooses somebody else. Not at all. Get that out of your head. That is just a conditioning you received in your culture to think. In any culture, any man usually thinks because the girl chooses them that they're something special. And because the girl doesn't choose them, no, they're not so good. Who died and left these girls in charge to give you your worth and value? It's a girl. It's a human being. It's just the same as you. She has her problems. She got to get up, wash her teeth, clean her face, go to work or go to school or whatever it is that she has to do, survive and make her own decisions. She's no better than you to think that if I have her, then I am bigger and better. If I don't, then I'm nothing. What? What is she bringing to you? Nothing. There are other women that you can get to know and see if you guys have a good connection. and get to know each other on consciousness level, and then see if you can build a friendship, a relationship, and go from there. Otherwise, leave this one. Whoever doesn't come along with you then doesn't need to be qualified to do come along. So don't take him. Move on yourself. Build your life. Cat Super Queen. That's the first time I see this name here. I think it's your first time here. And she says, "Hey sir, my best friend blocked me yesterday. I loved my best friend. I don't understand why he blocked me. I was nice to him, and he treated me like trash. I know him for 1 year." Cat Super Queen, if he treated you like trash, how could he be your best friend? Do you usually make best friends from trash? You should have respect for yourself. If you're nice to someone, and if they're not nice to you, then that means they're not qualified to receive your niceness, which means you simply should move on with your life and choose somebody else to be your real friend. So that's the way you should deal with it. You cannot constantly see a person with the eye of the past. In other words, you were a friend with that person for 10 years, 5 years, and now he or she is behaving differently, inappropriately, disrespectfully, disloyal, or not kind, or not polite, not cordial, something not the same as before. So you cannot then now, having tried to resolve the problem, having tried to have a conversation, discuss the matter, and still is not resolved, he's still or she's still behaving badly or not as nice as you used to know him or her. So what do? You cannot look at them, when you're looking at them, you cannot look at them with the eye of the past by seeing them as they are, but exposing and reflecting how they used to be onto them. No, you got to see them as they are now. What they used to be doesn't matter anymore, because you've tried to discuss it and it seems like it's not working and they're not changing. They continue their new ways. Therefore, you should see them as they are now, not with the eye of the past, not to perceive them as how they used to be at one time in this friendship. Therefore, treat them accordingly, meaning if they are still qualified, meet your standards to be friend with them or not. If not, you move on and leave them the way they are, as they're no longer qualified to be in a relationship or friendship with you as they used to be, because then they were a different mentality, different behavior, different character, and that suited and met your standards. But the way they are now, as people are dynamic, they constantly change. They could change to bad, they could change to good, they could remain the same, bad or good. You judge them according to what they are, not what they used to be. It's like saying this restaurant always had good food, but now it serves poison food, toxic food, dirty food, or food that are not of good quality, makes you sick or doesn't taste good. Are you still gonna go there because it used to be good? It used to have good food? No, you look at them as they are today. The same thing with friends, with people. People change, and the changes comes from their consciousness, what they are afraid of, what they desire, what their ego tells them, what they think they should do. And those conditionings and decisions could have a lot to do with their conditionings, values, needs, and those may not coincide or be comparable and compatible with how you see life and how you think what is right, what is wrong. And so therefore you got to see them as they are now. You see the restaurant as the quality of its food being served now, not how it used to be, good, clean, and delicious. If it's not good, clean, and delicious anymore, and at a good price, you move on. leave that behind, because that restaurant is no longer meeting your standards. It's no longer qualified for you to go there. So you cannot look at things with the eye of the past. You cannot perceive things. You got to see them as they are. And when you do that, it's clear. That's the actuality. And then you will make the right decision. And you will not keep hanging on to this person thinking that, oh, because it looks the same avatar, then it's the same character and mentality and consciousness and behavior as it used to be. No, that has changed. And what usually is change, you cannot see. It's not always physical change that you can say, oh, wow, I don't want to be with this person anymore because he's got a, I don't know, knife or a gun in his hand. No, you don't see that. You see it in here, that they've changed their manners, morals, understanding, expectations, and behavior and efforts, and on that basis, you decide if they still qualify or not. Do the same here. David. Hello, David. Texas, age 23, male. Thank you, David. Kirilla. Sounds like a movie. It was Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan. She was a little girl, they were twins, and the dad's new girlfriend name was similar. Kirilla. Just triggered the movie. And I'm 32 from Bulgaria. Yes, but you didn't say if you're a man or woman, because I think you're a woman, but I'm not sure because I'm not familiar with the names, and at the same time the picture doesn't tell me. I'm 32 from Bulgaria. I want to ask you, what do you think about a relationship that is stuck? We are together for a year and a half, but there are many pointless arguments. He is, oh, okay, then I assume you're a girl. He is never wrong. Ah, big ego. He is interacting with you through his image. As you know, these relationships that we often have, they're not a relationship with two people, two centers, to the me. The two me's, each one of them, their center, their actual personality. You're not having a relationship in most cases. Definitely not right at the outset, and possibly for years, unless you become aware of it and focus on getting to know each other and have a relationship with each other. Often this relationship is between two images. The image that you have of yourself, about yourself in your own mind, the way you like to see yourself and the way you like other people to see you, that's an image you have created of yourself in your own mind, is interacting with the image you have of the person that you're in a relationship with, of them in your mind. They have an image of themselves, about themselves in their mind, and they have an image of you, about you, in their mind. These two images, your image in your mind and the image of your boyfriend in your mind, and his image in his mind and your image in his mind, are having a relationship. So he's dealing with you through the image he sees himself and he has of himself in his mind. And the way he likes to see himself is this right, I'm right, I know more, I am better, trying to dominate, control, by trying to portray himself the way he likes to see himself, rather than trying to create a compromise, understanding, to build these building blocks of the foundation of what you guys want to build, which is your relationship, based on what is the best block to be here to withstand the weight and the challenges of the relationship. Instead of doing that, he's trying to simply say, I am better. He's focused on himself, that who he is. He's trying to prove that who he is is equal to the image he has of himself, or he likes to be seen as that image by other people, and is forcing that upon you instead of focusing on discussion and conversation and exchange of ideas and simply exploring matters. So that is why it is happening. You got to bring him out of that and make him understand that it doesn't matter if he serves his ego, fluffs his ego through these portrayal of macho or me, I'm more, I'm better, I'm right, and through that he's trying to gain values through him. He should focus on getting value through his efforts and what he builds together. And that is the value of both of you, rather than, in this circumstance, rather than he tries to get his value through fluffing his ego, which that is all it does, by simply trying to focus and push the fact that he's right in an argument. He's focusing on the outcome of the argument to score a point, to fluff his ego, rather than what this subject is, that we can together explore it and resolve it. So maybe you can discuss this with him, could help him out and also help the relationship if he's open to it. If not, then you may have to start thinking if this relationship is for you or not. Madara Minushi says, Mehran, I bought the book from your website, paid the money, please tell me to access the book now. I bought the online version, not the hard copy. Yeah, well, there's a link that comes to you. Once you pay for it through PayPal, then the receipt that comes to you, watch for that receipt. Maybe it's gone to your junk mail. And there's a blue name of the book on that receipt. You click on the blue link, then it automatically uploads the book for you. Send me an email if you didn't receive it. Send me an email at Mehran, M-E-H-R-A-N, at mindthatseekstruth.com. Mehran, M-E-H-R-A-N, at mindthatseekstruth.com. You should be able to go on the site, and you can also send a message through the site where you can send messages. And then give me your email and tell me which book you bought, and tell me if you have found the link or not. Sometimes it is possible that it goes to your junk and you won't see it. And then I can send you the ebook by mail if you haven't received the link or have lost it somehow. It can happen. So make sure to do that today. So after I finish, I will check my email and then I'll take care of it. And tell me where you're tuning in from and how old you are, if you're a man or a woman. Oh, now you say, sorry, I received the book in my mail. Thank you. Oh, okay. So the problem is solved, right? Confirm that you have received the book right here. Just make a note so I can see, so I don't have to watch for it anymore. All right. Karila says, never understands me. Is it better to end such relationship that aren't going nowhere despite of feelings? Your channel is very helpful. Thank you. Karila, I think I answered it at the first part of your question, but obviously the reason to be in a relationship is because you want to build something, not to create hardship for yourself. So if there's no communication, you can be damn sure that no amount of intimacy or physical interaction or infatuation would be able to hold a relationship, as everything physical has a duration. The only way that the relationship could actually last longer than it usually will is because if you guys focus on each other's consciousness and bond on consciousness level. Otherwise, the physical intimacy and infatuation of how pretty she is, or how handsome he is, or how much money he has, or what other things that you guys may physically share will not be the reason for a relationship to stay strong and last. Because all these physical interactions and connections have a duration. It's limited. And it doesn't have that quality of creating bond. It's only pleasure. And pleasure is not a bond. Pleasure is pleasure. Pleasure is not smart. Pleasure does not bring wisdom. Pleasure does not bring anything other than what it is, a momentary enjoyment of a certain feeling through the sensories, in this case. So, depends on what your plans for this relationship is. You don't want to turn it into a hindrance that every day you have to try to prove that you're right in this, and it's like an uphill battle, and you always feel not so good about yourself because he's always trying to push you down by that he's right, you're wrong, and no discussion, no understanding why somebody is wrong and why somebody is right in that particular subject. This will not bring the quality of life that you guys are looking for. It will just satisfy one side of the equation, fluffs their ego, and fulfills their desires, and attends to their fears, and creates certain kind of a elusive psychological security in their own mind, using force and domination. But it will never be something that is voluntarily from energy coming from everywhere to help each other, be together, build something together. Therefore, a waste of time in most cases. Eventually, you get used to and you condition yourself to put up with it. And then when you actually, things get really bad and wants to leave, you're not conditioned to stay. And that would become another problem for you to leave. So discuss this matter openly with your partners and see if you guys can come to some mutual understanding that would be good for both of you to help you grow and develop and build something, rather than just underhanded bullshit of dominating each other and getting little brownie points here and feel good about yourself, but really building nothing and in fact destroying the other one. They say there's two ways to have the tallest building in town. One is to destroy all the other buildings, and in that way then you have the tallest building. But that's a shitty way, isn't it? And the other way is to keep building on your own building. Building your building, focusing on your building, quality of it, expansion of it, whatever it is that you got to do to build your building. That's the way to do it. Now, if in a relationship, one is trying to constantly destroy the other one to look big and important, well, that's the wrong kind of approach in my book. All right, Karila. Now, remember guys, please like this stream if you haven't. Please share the videos on your social media to help the channel to be known and visible on YouTube, get a better algorithm or ratings, so it'll be visible and reach more people around the world to let them know support is available and they don't have to feel devastated after the relationship, or they can find solutions and answers to their questions about their psyche, about their thoughts, consciousness, relationship between the two. What is thought? What is consciousness? What is the role of fear, desire, and ego in how we feel, act, and react in our daily lives and negotiating our life in this journey? So, please enjoy the channel and share it with the people that you care about. And I hope you all have subscribed. If you haven't, click the subscribe button. Just forgot to say that. PK say, I'm still here. Love your laugh. Okay. When people have only 1 on 2/3 dates, 1, 2, or 3 dates, and things are good, why do they think the grass is greener and date others? Then they figure out it isn't. Take them back or no. Oh, I see. Another question, in the age of online dating, Is it impossible? It is impossible to meet people regularly. Any fun tips? Where is your tea? My tea is here. This was 3 questions, by the way. No, 4. Because any fun tips? That's 1. Where's your tea? That's 2. The age of dating online? 3. And the other one? 4. Naughty girl. 4 questions. All right, let's deal with it. Tea is here. No fun tips. That's 2 questions out of the way. In the age of online dating, it is impossible to meet people regularly? Maybe, maybe not. That's 3rd question. 4th question, which is the first, says, love your laugh. Thank you very much. When people have only gone on 2 or 3 dates and things are good, why do they think the grass is greener and date others? Then they figure out it isn't. Take them back. No, because they are not really focusing on why they are dating. They are dating to find happiness. They have come to the scene of dating to find happiness through a relationship, through somebody else to bring that happiness to them. And they are being exposed to the idea of that there's so many possibilities out there, especially on this day and age, and they've always been conditioned to want to be more, and they think being more is when they go and have more things, more dates, more money, more car, more of this, eat more food, and that helps them to think they are now become something more themselves. So when they go on a date or 2 with someone that they actually hit it off okay, they may think, what else is out there? Now I got this. So let me say what else is out there. They become confident that they got this. But before they went on a date with you, they wouldn't want to go anywhere else. They were focused on this because they didn't have this. Now that they have this, they think, okay, let me see what else is out there. Instead of focusing on what is it that they want from this relationship other than fun. If they're there just for fun and dating, and they haven't dated before, well, men usually in young ages, they are of the belief that they have to, the more girls they know, the more they have experienced life. And today, it's kind of similar thinking from girls' side as well. So that could be one reason that when they are, with one girl and they've gone on a few dates, they're still going to be looking around because now they got the boost of confidence that they can get a girl to go out with them. Now they have the confidence that they want to try what else is available out there. Also, it could mean that they are having fun on that date, but they maybe don't know what they want themselves at that age. So if they don't know what they want, they are willing to try to see what else is out there because they have no standards. They're not looking for anything particular because they don't know what is that particular that they want. So they go out with this girl and they're only figuring things out how they hit it off physically because they don't even know about their own consciousness, what and how they're put together, how their psyche ticks, let alone knowing how the other person's psyche ticks and what they should be expecting from that their girlfriend or their date. So because they don't know of themselves, they don't know what they want. They don't know what their standards are, what their expectations are in their girlfriend that they're looking for. So therefore they go out with this one, and then they go out with that one. They think what they want will be hitting them in the head, which could be all based on physical attraction or something that they could not have. They have no idea how they want to choose a girlfriend. It's all on physical basis. So maybe they went out with you and they now think, oh, now I have this one, maybe I can look for somebody else who looks different too and try that. So these are all the questions that could come up, and that is basically because they really don't know what they want. They don't know how they're put together. They don't know what makes their date tick, how they connect with them on consciousness level. They're only trying to connect with them physically because that's all they know, and it's going to take them a little bit of time to understand what it is that they're looking for, what kind of girl, what kind of character, and how to know if she has that kind of character and if they can bond on conscious level with her or not. Until that happens, they'll keep going here and there. Until they bond on conscious level and they become aware of that, both sides, both will end up going here and try other things and hoping that from outside it will be known to them what they are looking for. And that's probably what the problem is at that particular age, I think. Again, I need you guys to let me know where you're tuning in from, how old you are, and if you're a man or woman, so it will help me to know the age and how to communicate and deliver and base my observations on such information. Now, let's go to Alan Score. Alan says, thank you, sir. I'm here after 1 year. I used to listen to you. You made me strong. I still remember one video where you said that, trust me, you will be okay. And here I am with happiness and focus. Good. Glad to hear that, Alan. So now share the videos on your social media. Help the channel to grow. Don't forget. I hope you have gone on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, and you have acquired the ebook, Me, My Psyche, and I highly recommend that book. I highly recommend that book. Lots of little chapters of many things that you need to know about life and about yourself. And also it has from chapter 32 to chapter 40 or 42 things to do with meditation, mind power, and all these things that we need to know about our mind and behavior and movement of our mind. And that book, a paper version, is something like $80. The books are $80 and $105, but I have turned them into ebooks, so everybody with any currency in any part of the world can afford it, because they're now very, very reasonable. The same book of $80 or $100 is now $4.99, $5.99, and $6.99 on my site. Amazon sells them $20, $26, and $34. On my own site, I have made it especially affordable for everybody, so nobody has an excuse to tell me, I want the book, but it's so expensive because it's US dollar. Now it is only $4.99, which is the price of Transient Thoughts and Me. Those are the thoughts that appear in your head and you didn't invite them. You don't know what they are, what they mean to you, why they're there, and how to deal with them, and so on and so forth. And then $5.99 is for Me, My Psyche, and I. 360 pages of lots of good stuff in it. I highly recommend that book. And the other one, the Breakup Pain Handbook, which is 600 pages, and it's $6.99. I'm sure you can all afford it. Help the channel and help yourself to have that on your library and refer to it once in a while whenever you feel like it. With a cup of tea or coffee, sit down and read a chapter or two. They're short chapters and very pleasant reading. Simple reading. I've written it very simple. I don't write sophisticated, and it's just like talking. So, having plugged the books, now we go on to Emmanuel. Emmanuel says, thanks for answering my previous question. How can I build self-confidence? I often doubt about many things, even when I know that they are true. It's a very bad feeling at times. Well, that's transient thoughts. Negative thoughts come to defy or doubt what good thoughts that you have about something that you're doing or something that has happened or could happen. And that's the job of brain. Brain is always scanning for trouble, because that is job, to protect you. And sometimes it just looks and finds and focuses on the worst things in things, because it wants to make sure that you will become aware of possible things that could go wrong, and you calculate for them, and therefore you will be prepared for it. And sometimes it does it too much, and therefore you get anxious and you get so many negative thoughts, and it's basically the mind is trying to look for troubles, and when it can't find it, it kind of creates something out of nothing just in order for you to be on your toes. That's its job. So you got to understand your mind and then logically see what needs to be actually ignored and what needs to be paid attention to, or at least consider it, and then make a decision that, okay, it's not relevant, it's not interesting, it's not important, and you move on with it. And that's you can figure out those transient thoughts and the movement of negative mind on Transient Thoughts and Me ebook. You can go and acquire that, and at the same time you can focus on the fact that this has nothing to do with the actuality. It just has to do with the scenarios that your mind comes up with in order to alert you and make you sharper, to protect you. So you don't have to pay attention to everything that comes to your mind. Lottie says, I wonder why children seem to find competing so easy, but I find I'm quite slow with learning. It's with other technology like cars I'm slow with, but other things I'm okay. Clever. We're all interested in some things, and we're not so interested in other things, and what we're not interested, we're usually not good at it. That's normal. And there are lots of people, millions and millions and millions, if not everybody, in fact everybody who goes to school, university, they'll do great on things that they like, and they do terrible on things that they're not interested in. Well, that's normal. Who? These are smart people. Why? Because they know that they don't want to spend time on something that they're not interested. Why should they? Why should I focus on something that I'm not interested in? You walk around in life, you look at things that is pleasant to you, that is interesting, brings you a good emotion. The same thing in the studies and things that you do in life. If you're not interested in something, you will not be good at it. Why? It's not because you can't be good at it, because you don't want to be good at it, because you don't want to put your energy on that thing. But the things that you're interested in, you become innovative, you come up with talented innovations or way of doing it, you create things, and amazing things will be a result of your interest and focus. So there's nothing wrong with you. As far as I'm concerned, that's perfectly okay. If children find competing easy because they really are not so focused on what competing is. They just think it's a way to make themselves get more brownie points and be recognized, and they've been conditioned to want to be recognized, to want to be more, and that's their way at their age to create that feeling or attention by others, the elder ones, who are expecting them to win something in order to prove that they're worth something or they're something. They've created that conditioning in them, but they don't have to. To a level, competition is okay to maybe push you to maybe achieve a certain level of something. I don't know, sports or things like that. Or it could be part of the game. But when you focus on competition too much, you lose the fun of doing things, because you're only focusing on the outcome that is going to be directly related to your worth and value and your happiness and contentment and satisfaction, all that bullshit. Then you lose the whole fun of actually doing what it is that you're doing, because only what matters at the end of the sports activity and all that effort and fun and ingenious play and whatever, some part who tried as much is going to be sad. Why? All because of the outcome. And that's because of the conditioning. That, oh, I'm not better than the other, which we are conditioned to want to be better than somebody else in order to feel good about ourselves or to show our value. That's a conditioning. So through competition, while in some cases is okay, in some cases you actually are losing the fun of it. You can still be as creative and as result-oriented as you want to be. It doesn't have to be competing. It has to be just your own logic that I want to create this. I'm going to do my best for it. What's the competition for? To do it faster? Why? Why? You should compete with yourself, with your own wisdom, with your own smarts. How I can do something better. That's a real competition. The rest of it is not a fair competition, and it's not a worthy competition. Somebody is good at something, so they compete and they win over this person. But this person thinks, oh, I'm not good anymore. But this person is so good at something else that that person is not. So why don't we compete in that? So it's so nonsense. Because the level of interest and training all makes things different. So what you should really do is compete with yourself. Compete with the quality and the learning process and the experiences that you want to do and see and accomplish and experience in your own life by yourself. And that's when how you can make real changes in your life according to what it is that you want to accomplish and you're interested and you're good at making yourself better at that thing because of that way of thinking. The Raf says, hi, keep looking at pictures of my ex and on social media. I'm aware it's like a dopamine fix, but it's stopping me from moving on and giving me false hope. Can you help with this? Well, it's like you park your car and you say, I keep looking at that snail on the side of the sidewalk through the window of my car that I'm sitting in it, and I can't get to my destination. Why the heck are you sitting there? Has it gotten you anywhere? Or has turned you into that snail that is not getting anywhere, is getting somewhere with so slow speed? Why are you keep doing something that you know it doesn't get you anywhere? How many times have you been watching your girlfriend on your social media? Has anything changed? Have you gotten anywhere? Have you guys gotten back together? What has it caused you? Waste your time, not being able to be active in other things, not to be able to do your things that you should be doing, not to be able to attend to your work or job or studies or whatever it is, not to be able to have the opportunity to spend your time on other possibilities to get to know other people and find other friends and perhaps, you know, find a new girlfriend as well. So if it hasn't brought you anything, why you keep continuing doing the same thing that doesn't bring you anything? So you can see you are in command here. You choose to sit there on your ass and not get anywhere. Well, that's your choice. If you don't want to learn from, if you hit your head to the rock will not break, your head will, then you will keep doing it. But if you get notice of what's the result and benefits of what you've been doing, and you see nothing, it's just gotten me sit here and sulk and be more deeper and deeper in sad mood and hasn't gotten me anything. So why do you keep doing it? Why do you keep doing something that doesn't get you anything? Think about it. The reason you're checking that out because you think it is going to give you something. What has it given you? Nothing in actuality. Nothing is reality other than some dreamy things and, you know, whatever. Why? Who is she? What? Who died and left her in charge of your happiness in life? It is not her that she's so important that you're checking out. It is your desire to feel good about the idea of having a girlfriend or seeing a girl that you like. What has made her so important, it is not her. It is your desire for her. Remember, we have a video that talks about where does breakup pain comes from? Where does breakup pain come from? In some other video we talked about, is it the apple that is so important? Or is it your hunger that makes the apple so important? Is it the apple that is important by itself? Or is it your hunger for nutrients, nourishment that resides in the apple that makes the apple so important? Is it the apple that is important by itself? If that was the case, then you would be thinking apple is important even if you have just come out of a restaurant and had a beautiful, nice meal and you're full in your tummy. But you know that when you just come out of a restaurant and just have eaten, the apple doesn't seem important. You don't desire apple. You have no hunger for apple. Therefore, the apple is no longer important. So it is not the apple that is important on its own, because if it was, then it would have been important to you at all times, whether hungry or filled in tummy. But it's not. So is it the apple that is important, or is it your hunger for nutrient that makes the apple important. Same thing. Is it her that is really all that? Or is it your desire for being with the girl, or your desire for her that makes her to be so important? If that is understood, then you understand that you can desire another girl and create the same kind of interest in yourself, because it is your desire that you can unleash it on other girls that meet your standards, and they would find you interesting and want to get to know you. Then two of you get to know each other and so on. So it doesn't have to be her, so you don't have to be just focused and infatuated by following her on this social media and waste your time that way. So I hope you get something to think about. Let me move to Cali, California, female, 60, post-breakup meeting. Angry ex reacted with anger by draining energy from my solar plexus zone by putting us both in a trance. I woke up, found him behind me in a trance, draining energy. All right, is there a question in there? PK says, thank you for answering all four. Amazing. Okay. Lottie. Oh, let me go back to where we were. KK or KKR, I say, it says, I also wanted to ask you this. KK, you now going to have to wait for it. Why? Because I still don't know where you're tuning in from, if you're a man or a woman, and how old you are. Or have you told me that? Let me just check your previous one. If you haven't, get busy. Oh, you have. Okay, sorry about that. 22 Pakistan, I forgot. All right, now I also am looking for who was it that was telling me about the book that he bought? Okay, Madara, could you please repeat the fact that you have received the book? Unless I receive an email from you, I can't do anything about it. But it looks like you say, sorry, I received the book in my mail. Thank you. Okay, good. All right, then you have. So we are going to KKR. I also wanted to ask this. He says, I introduced her to my friend circle, but on the other hand, she didn't introduce me much to her friends. Now, since we have broken up, none of her friends is in talking terms. Okay, so big deal. Who cares? Move on. Don't limit life experience to some girl and her friends. Move on, find other girls and other friends. And so many people. There's 7 billion people on this earth. I bet you there are millions that would be happy to get to know you once such opportunity arises. By the way, Mehran, he says, I need to go now. I need to wake early tomorrow. So have a nice day to you, sir. And please, if possible, do this live session a little early. I can't do it earlier than this, KK, because we did it at 10 o'clock yesterday. It took 20 minutes to someone show up. It's too early for some people. For Middle East, it may be okay to do it earlier, but for Europe and other parts of the world, it just, right now, I think we're trying to figure out what's the best time. And 10 forward maybe would be okay. We'll see. There's always going to be some zone that are not going to be happy. If I do it 8 o'clock, some people will, some people won't. If I do 10, same. If I do 12, same. If I do it nighttime, then same, because there's so many different zones in the world. So we'll see. We figure it out as we go. Now, Lottie says, the thing I find frustrating is maybe people might think I'm not making any effort and using stupidity as an excuse, but I'm slow. How can I make sure that I don't let people think I don't care? If they're close enough, just let them know that this is my pace, and so don't think that I don't care. It's just the way I do things. Simple. Explain it to them. And the rest of them, it doesn't matter. As long as you do your best, doesn't matter what speed it is, and doesn't matter what they think. Just do your thing. Don't worry about it. Okay, PK, you're welcome. Arijit says, Arijit Seal says, when throwing old stuff away, I found some childhood photos of my ex. I think throwing her childhood photos away would be extremely distressful. We don't talk anymore, and I'm sure if I contact her to give those photos back, she will disrespect me. What should I do? Just put those photos in something, in an envelope or in a little something, and then store it somewhere. That's it. So it won't be in your face every time you stumble on it. Just put it somewhere, And if it ever came to, you guys stumbled onto each other in any social event or however, you can say, by the way, there are a few pictures of you. If you want it, you can come get it, or I can mail it to you. That's it. That's the end of it. Okay, guys, it looks like I've hit all the questions here. And I thank you very much for your time. Please do like the live stream before you go, and do check my site, mind@seekstruth.com, and share the videos that you like in your social media, and be good to yourself and to the others. I look forward to talk to you again. And until then, bye for now.